All right, I'm going to have it. It's going to come from Sifu Singh's mouth himself, right? Let's all listen to hear what he has to say. I'm just going to play this as the disclaimer before this video today. Enjoy.
Man, first of all, I got to tell everybody, Dominick's Wing Chun, it's awesome. It's awesome. I've had a chance to roll with quite a few people, and he has constant forward pressure. He's shifting and applying the principles really well. So if you're in the Chicago area or if you're anywhere in the U.S.,
all right, so now we got that out of the way before you critics in the comments section are going to say, have you ever trained with Sifu Singh? Yeah, and I'll put the entire link clip for that video up in line. We did that many years ago. Sifu Singh was one of the few JKD guys ever that came into my school with an actually open mind to learn and not to teach. And he is a true martial artist. I'm going to say, I've talked about this many times. I don't like Jeet Kune Do. I think they misrepresent a lot of what Wing Chun is supposed to pass on. But as far as the character, the integrity of the ability, and I'll preface this in the beginning, Sifu Singh is, in my opinion, one of today's greatest martial arts out there. The man eats, sleeps, breathes, consumes, lives, expresses martial arts in every aspect of his life. I think he takes it completely. It is his world. And it's expressed. I think he's one of the, as far as the martial arts world goes, he's one of the greatest guys I've ever met because he was humble beyond belief. And then, yeah, you touch hands, you know he has skill. And again, he just, out of all the JKD guys I've met, he's probably the only one that didn't come in to show me what was up. And I really respect him for that. But I'm still allowed to critique his videos. So I want to talk about the Pox Out today, which is a video that the Budo brothers just released, and it's a great video, and there's a lot of good points in here. But remember, when we critique the videos, part of the point is, this is my view as a responsibility of somebody who is trying to keep the Wing Chun consistent and going forward and really eliminating all the garbage that we see online all the time. You got a 4.5 minute video, and if you're studying Wing Chun, you're going to go, oh, yeah, it's not fair, but it's necessary because of the day and age we live in, where it's, hey, this is all available online. So if somebody goes online and they consume a 4-minute video and say, hey, this is what a Wing Chun is, and that was done out of a 3-hour class, we have to preface that, right? So based on the totality of what this is, I'm going to talk and critique on Sifu Singh's breakdown of the Pak Sao for his teaching purposes, and how if we're in Wing Chun, we are going to potentially disagree or align and go, okay, that's interesting. Don't forget, make sure you join us for the Great Martial Arts Training Hall. Go be a part of our Patreon. Click the link below in the description. Become a member today. I don't care if it's JKD, Capoeira, wrestling, catch wrestling, BJJ, Taekwondo, you're a Hapkido guy, whatever your passion for martial arts is, get rid of the politics, get rid of the bullshit on the online forums. Come together, Great Martial Arts Training Hall. We want to see you there. Click the link below in the description. All right, let's check this video out. All right, this is from the Budo Brothers YouTube channel. It's a great YouTube channel. They've got a lot of really good Wing Chun content on there. I think you should be consuming everyone's Wing Chun, because the more you consume and the more, if you're somebody like Sifu Singh and you are exploring your martial arts, it's out of the dojo, the kun, the gym as well too. You have to be obsessed with it. I talk about this many times. When I began my first Wing Chun journey, and several years into it, notes. How many of you are taking notes from your class and writing it down and dissecting it and reviewing it years later and looking and going, oh my God, I didn't know that I had a different understanding of this particular movement, this issue, this technique back then, and now it means X, Y, and Z. The most beautiful thing about Wing Chun for me is it evolves as I do. Well, what does that mean? It means my views consistently change. The principles, the core principles, and the foundation, Wing Chun never changes, but it evolves based on my needs. What do I mean by that? A hammer. We all know that a hammer is used to pounding nails, right? But we know a hammer can be a weapon. We know a hammer can be a doorstop. We know a hammer can be a back scratcher. It's all, what are you going to use the tool for at the time you need it? Now, my Wing Chun has clearly changed because I'm 50. When I started, I was in my early 20s. I think it was 21. So it's like, yeah, of course it's going to change. Musculature, cardio or lack of, size, aches and pains and joint issues, slowing down. Everything changes with your martial arts because you change. So you have to make it adapt. Your car, again, the best analogy for martial arts when it comes down to applying it is you got a car, you go to driver's ed school, and how you learn to drive in driver's ed is completely different how you're going to apply it on the street, right? So let's watch this video together from Bruto Brothers, Mastering the Trapping Method, Exploring the Wing Chun Pak Sao. Now, remember, I support Sifu Singh. Don't fucking get butt hurt when I disagree with him on things. That's the whole point of martial arts and the self-exploratory. We're relatively the same height. His cardio is better than I am. Mine is. His fighting endurance is better than mine is. I've got a wrestling background. I don't know what his he's a seasoned martial artist in many different disciplines. I'm a wrestler, wrestling coach, and Wing Chun expert, and police, retired police. So I've had world experience. So, I mean, it is what it is. That's my point of view bringing this to the table. Let's watch this together, and I want to hear about the Pak Sao from JKD's point of view as learned from Wing Chun.
Boom, there's the shot. Notice the moment I trap, boom, this hand relaxes. Like, boom, there's the shot. See, it's an eruption. Goes through the body. So let's go over.
How the hell are you not aging? Explain that one to me. Is that in yours? Let me talk about that for a second. We met 2014. He came over to the gym, I believe, unannounced. I don't know. Hey, I'm going to stop by. Do you mind? It's like, holy shit. How do you look this young still? And I got so old. Ancient Chinese secret. Mm-hmm.
Let's review a Pak Sao, and then we'll do it from the movement. Okay, so the first thing that I want to change, see this? I don't want this any. Okay? Because when we're doing this, you're training yourself to be square instead of being bladed. Next, instead of this hand being...
Let's break this down point by point. The Wing Chun, we are squared, not bladed. What I don't like, and I teach this many times, is the concept of having a strong side forward, or even if you're boxing, you have your feint or your jab hand or your wusu, your mun sao, your asking hand forward in order to set up for that stronger shot, in my opinion. Now, do not forget, I am at a disadvantage for fights because of height. I'm 5'7". So if I stand bladed to a taller person, 6 feet tall, whatever, we know that reach is going to be an issue. I do not want to violate the length, the reach, or the power of all of my tools by standing bladed. I don't. I've talked about this many times on many videos, the concept of standing opposite foot from opposite arm, which means if my right arm is forward, my left leg is forward. It forms a stronger base. It forms a more development of power. And these are all things you need to write down and explore in yourself. When you are standing bladed, does your weak side, if you will, if you're standing strong side like a right guard and you have a left bar, right, is it engaged? Is it still activated? The question is, can you deliver the same amount of power with the bladed or the non-bladed side, rear versus forward? It's a very basic question, and I'm going to get to a point of why strength training is essential for this this understanding on how to develop it more. More reasons for the blading is recovery. Recovery is the number one reason. My recovery for both anti-takedown and in a fighting context has always been superior because I don't favor one side, and both sides are always forward, always engaged. How we negate or we dissipate a non-leading forward energy is change the angle. Change the angle blade. Now, granted, this is training. Remember, I am nitpicking a 4.5 minute video. So I am going into the masterclass breakdown of what he's teaching in 4 minutes. And I'm sure that if he taught this for the full class, there's going to be multiple nuances. I'm doing this from a Wing Chun point of view. So this is not meant to be disrespectful. This is meant to put our spin on it. So number one, no, you do not in Wing Chun stand bladed. You're at a disadvantage for having your other side, whatever that other side is, being on. And we get that even in the guard. Your guard isn't bladed. It is both squared up. One can be forward, one can be back, if you will. And you'll see it in a turning punch. How many times have I said that even when you're punching one, the other one is still going on, going forward? It's a concept for energy. A lesser trained, inexperienced, unstudied, unlearned Wing Chun person standing bladed does not have the ability to recover quickly enough if they are bladed. That's my breakdown of that. All right, let's continue.
Instead of this hand being round, I was straight, I want it round and relaxed like a circle. See? It's round here. It's round. Instead of like saying, I need that reference point. I want this roundedness, because when you're rounder, you're stronger. This force comes through my body. Okay, then don't be too round and don't be too rigid. Do you see this? So I don't want this. See, when you do this, do you see the tension? There's already tension. I just need this. I need to start from relaxation. Keep that hand up, please. I'm going to practice the pak sao. There's 3 things to a pak sao.
Yes, yes, yes. We need to talk about this for a second. Now, one of the biggest problems or misconceptions that we have in Wing Chun is the difference between training and application. And the Wing Chun stance is probably one of the worst examples on the planet of how to wind up not fighting, right? We teach a mun sao, asking hand, and a wu sao, and we hold it out. And there's a lot of times in the beginning of my training, I was guilty of it. And then you have the opposite of, no, you should stand more like a boxer. You're going to find what's comfortable for you. But the problem is that most people don't take the time to explore themselves and understand, well, most rules, especially in Wing Chun, need to be broken. Again, go back to a driving reference. You could pass your rules of the road, drive with your hands at 10 at 2, look in the rearview mirror every 7 seconds, turn signal 100 feet before you change lanes or turn. But how many of you still legitimately follow those direct rules of the road as you're driving? You drive with your knee, texting with one hand, eating a cheeseburger in the other, and then just blindly changing lanes. But the car is still getting to the destination that you got it to go, right? That's the whole point of this. When it comes to the Wing Chun stance, remember, and this is one of the great things about how he's talking about being rounded. Well, I'm gonna pose this question for everyone out there. For the purists in Wing Chun who still are saying that you have to have your elbow on center as close as possible, you're the ones who are actually destroying the art, because your students are living and breathing on everything you say. The job is to try to. With this state in my life, I can't. I've got chest meat. I've got tight shoulders. I'm 230 something pounds as a 5'7" man. I'm built. I'm muscular. That center line is not going to be honored with the elbow going down. And you're also saying, if that's the case, then Wing Chun can only be done by 135-pound skinny Chinese men who have the limberness to get that center line guarded like crazy. It's not physiologically possible for fighting context or to be honoring Wing Chun. And the other aspect is the shoulder, right? We keep our shoulder back and we turn it off. No engagement of shoulder. Well, if that's the case, then your fighting distance, in my case, is only 18 inches. You're saying anything stuck out reasonably is going to wind up, it's a violation of your fist and a half length from your elbow away from your body. That's a load of shit. The first form, Si Lim Dao, teaches me down and forward, up and forward. This is my fighting distance. I shouldn't be going past this. Here's the deal. There's a lot of correction in that concept for power's sake. You're strongest right around here. This distance, we'll look at the bench press or push up for a second, right? This distance from your body, once you violate 90 degrees, especially if you bench, you're in a sticking position. It's like, damn, I can't get it up. Statically or the isometric training, you're your strongest. I cannot bench press 500 pounds. I can have it unracked and hold it. I can descend it, but I can't bench press 500. I'm a little over 300 right now. That being said, if that's the case, how do I learn the structure of my body for power? The Wing Chun game changes when you study your first form, your body structure, your ability, and you learn how to put it together. The rounded part that Sifu Singh is talking about is 100% accurate, and I'll show you where you've seen it before. Now, one of the biggest conundrums for me throughout my entire Wing Chun life has been I love to lift weights, and I love to lift heavy weights. This is me benching 300 pounds for 5 repetitions. Oh, but according to people, masters, grandmasters like Lung Tings, I would not recommend you lift weights for Wing Chun. Well, they did that for years for one specific reason. It's to keep your students literally physically weaker, to keep them brainwashed on the idea that Chi Sao is going to save them for fucking anything, and all they got to do is be soft. All they got to do is be just completely zen-like, and they're going to win a fight. And it's a fucking load of shit. If you're not lifting weights, you're out of your mind. But the problem I always had is, but my elbow has to be down. I don't understand. My elbow has to be down. Now, my bench press went up after understanding Wing Chun mechanics. Recruiting my elbow in. You'll see a lot of bench pressers. You're going to tear your pec if your elbow's flared out. Bring your elbow in as much as possible. Take the bar, try to bend the bar in, and you do that. I'm a very big tricep bencher when it comes down to putting that weight up. I'm very heavily reliant on the tricep, but my Wing Chun comes into play. You'll see things like I bring my legs into the bench and I want to root myself. All the Wing Chun concepts, but I started to see and feel, holy shit, the rounded aspect for Wing Chun that Sifu Singh was talking about, you get so much more power when you understand how to properly violate center line. Where have we seen that before? Yeah, enjoy the laugh on this one, but this one got me. This was the photo that I went, shit, he's onto something. The Cobra lat spread that so many of you think is like, it's great, but warm up. It's actually the permission that your body gives you in order to violate your center line and the elbow down principle in Wing Chun and maintain power. This is one of the smartest things that Bruce Lee put out there that, again, you're only going to explore if you take it and apply it toward yourself. Now, get in your stance. Put your Mun Sao and your Wu Sao out, your asking hand and your answering hand, and keep your shoulders where they're at. But you're going to start to see when you express your shoulders forward more, right? So we're in this position, I start to go forward more. You're going to see that you're more straight out, and especially if you are raised in your stance, you're going to feel that your forward energy is going forward. You're going to be so easy to be ripped out of your stance. A lap sao, somebody pulls you, or an overextension of a punch is going to leave you getting ripped right down to the floor. It's one of the main reasons I don't like heels up or standing on your toe when you're in a stance. But here's the deal. When you flare your lats, your shoulders automatically go forward without you extending your shoulders. You're keeping your intent in your back, which is a muscle that you recruit to bench press, put more power out, right? And what happens is, especially if you flare your lats out and then Yiji Kim Young Ma sink in your stance, you will be rounded. And the best analogy I could think of is go find a big beach ball or a fitness ball and try to hold it. You have to sink yourself in to fit the curvature, conclaveness of the ball while your arms are still extended out. Drop the beach ball, hold your guard up. You're going to find yourself recessed back in your stance, rooted as fuck, while at the same time, your arms are going forward, extending, increasing the distance of where you could deliver power. It's insane. 10 years ago, I felt this and I went, oh, shit, this is the answer that so many people need on how to keep the base of their tripod, right? And the analogy I used to use back then is like a 50 caliber rifle. You put a 50 cal down, it's got that tripod, you pull the trigger, the recoil is absorbed going back in the tripod. That's your tripod. Your hips go down and forward. One leg could be forward. You're still presenting both weapons at the same distance based on your shoulder and your hips. Energy is going down into the earth. The recoil is gone. You punch, nothing happens. You pull, nothing happens for you, your body structure. This position is the answer to Wing Chun structure that so many people fucking fail, and I'll acknowledge it publicly. Whether or not Bruce Lee knew that he was doing in this photo, he was doing it. So you can, if you understand where the power comes from, your hips, your dantian, that you're drawing the energy from up the earth in your first form, and you have that out there, your elbow can flare out. Your elbow can flare out, and you can still be as powerful. And there's more proof out there from other guys who discovered this long before I did. Remember that video I played the other day? Here you go. Sifu Dave Meadows. I needed permission in my mind years ago. It's like, well, just because I feel this, does it mean I'm violating Wing Chun? Look at his stance. Look at his stance. He's rooted. He's sunken back in his hips. His shoulders are forward. There's a roundness in his upper body. I mean, for the love of God, it's always been in front of us for decades and probably centuries. But the problem is the concept for Wing Chun teaching is called guarding the rice bowl. If I'm going to give you grain at a time and keep feeding you, and you'll always rely on me for the food. Wing Chun teachers and martial arts teachers don't like to teach their students how to fucking cook on their own, because then all of a sudden you don't need them anymore. And what's that equal? Lack of tuition. Lack of tuition. A lot of you out there are making your income on martial arts, and you should be creating students that are better than you so that you constantly improve to make sure those fuckers are never better than you. You chase me? Great. I'm going to keep improving and kick your ass. So damn, how'd you do that? Well, now I got to teach you more. This was the position. This was the position that opened my Wing Chun, where I went, holy shit. This is the answer to taking pressure properly. When you punch, when you push, when you pull, when you rip, when you grapple, this stance changed everything for me. And it's the literal fucking Yi Kim Young Ma stance that we get. The only difference is when we open it and we go, we don't limit here. We're expressing while engaging our core more, rounding out by activating our hip flexors going forward into the ground. And you could do it one leg forward, one leg back. It doesn't make a difference. And you're bladed. It will not work if you're bladed. It will not, only one side will work, which is why I'm telling you, a lot of guys who stand bladed, they are missing out on the totality of delivering instant, massive, faster, explosive power and fucking recovery. The more you are squared up into your target with both sides activated, being able to dissipate, recess, reset when you need to, you can recover faster than those who stand bladed. So he's right. The roundness, you need to explore that. It's how you deliver power. I can't bench press 300 pounds with my elbow completely dedicated this way. Can't do it. It has to be flared out in order to activate larger muscle groups, my back, connected to the rest of the kinetic chain to deliver the power. So if your Wing Chun teacher tells you don't lift weights, fucking find another teacher. Leave tomorrow. And if you are not exploring the means to violate the rules you are told, you're not learning your own Wing Chun. But Sifu Singh is 100% right in the rounding aspect of your structure. All right, let's continue.
Thing to a Paksao is going to be, there's three elements. One is the footwork, two is this hand, the trapping hand, and three is the hitting hand, okay? So the first thing I'm going to show you is the footwork. It's a push shuffle, not a step and slide.
Reason for that is, and that's pretty good, I just don't like the heel up. I don't like it because as far as I feel, when your heel is up on a back stance like this movement.
The first thing I'm going to show you is the footwork.
When your toe is down and your heel is up, you're then quad dominant. And there's nothing wrong with that. I got a big ass. I want to rely my glutes, right? The problem that you're having, here's the problem. If somebody pushes in to sing, being quad dominant with your heel raised is a good thing because he won't get knocked back on his ass. If he's heel dominant, he's going right back on his ass. It's just how it is. But if you pull forward, it's easier to pull forward somebody who has their heel raised versus a heel secured to the ground. You have to find exactly where your root is. And I trained with somebody who did Tai Chi a long time ago, Dr. Mike, and man, his explanation of what the root is was great. It's always changing. Your root can be half of a second. Boom, reroute, reroute, reroute. So you have to completely discover your footwork for you, right? The first 4 years of my Wing Chun was such a fucking nightmare because I was trying to keep all 9 points of the foot on the ground at the same time while your turn. Try it. You can't do it. It's not physiologically possible. You can if your feet are right together, but you can't if they're in their dedicated Yi Ji Kim Yo Ma stance. The only way you could do that then is to have a 70-30 or 90-10 weight distribution, and that violates your center line going off side to side. But if you're keeping 50-50, you can't. And especially somebody like me, flat-footed, I would turn, I'd be like, man, I'm on the instep of my foot. Why? Because that's how my body is built. So for the sake of self-discovery, you have to discover what your stance is. I don't like a dedicated heel raised because it puts you quad dominant. And in certain positions, you don't want that. I like being flat-footed as much as possible, discovering where your root comes from, and tying your feet into your adductors and hip flexors. You have to find that. That's going to keep you balanced and power-driven.
It's a push shuffle, not a step and slide. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good too. You want to keep the structure of this. Our Pak style, we never violate. You never want to kind of absorb and then crash forward. You want to keep it structure. And again, too, one of the things is you don't want them to feel it happening. Remember, this is training. It's not application. I want to stick to the application of the Pak style in a fight. Training, you want to be like a feather. Training, you really want to fool the shit out of them. You know, we all saw this from Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. We know how that goes. But you also want to bring in the fact that this is it's where's Pak style going to exist in a fight. So what you're learning, what he's teaching right now is called springy energy. It's springy energy without giving up your position. Because if Sifu Singh moves in that staggering stance and this guy's got a blindfold on, he could feel him. You could feel the delay in the delivery of the stance, but if you're moving as all one unit, you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So keeping that in mind.
It's not this, because when I do that, where's half my weight? It's that way. Now look where I'm at. I'm ready to be taken down. Okay, so it's not this. You follow? It's, you see how all three happen at the same time? So when I'm here,
3 beats, 1 movement. I like that. I like that a lot.
This is first. That goes. And there's the shot. The next thing, the Pak is here. It's right there. It's right there. But it's not my hand doing it, it's my body doing it.
Yes, 100%. You want to put your body behind it. Now, again, where it's just my opinion, the superiorness lies in a squared stance versus a bladed stance is you don't have to twist your body like he just did. Watch.
There. But next thing, the Pak is here. It's right there. It's right there. But it's not my hand doing it, it's my body doing it.
So you don't have to twist your body when it, and I know he's over exaggerating for the sake of a demonstration. You don't have to engage your twist or your Yuma, if you will, if you're in a squared position, which does what? It makes you look faster. Because you're eliminating a step. If you're in a squared Wing Chun stance, what I mean by squared is there's a difference between the separation of your hips and your waist. You have to learn that. My hips right now are facing you. My waist and my center line and my shoulders are going that way. My hips are still pointed directly at you with the camera. Now, my hips are pointed at this big box light I have right here. My waist has me right at you. You can be bladed if you understand the separation between upper and lower triangle. You get that in Chum Q. That's why, in my opinion, Chum Q, all the forms have value. Chum Q, seeking the bridge, and a lot of people think sinking the bridge, seeking the bridge. Well, maybe it's the bridge of the body between you and them. In my opinion, it's all of it. But the biggest component is you're seeking the bridge between the upper half and the lower half, putting them together in unison for your weapons. So you can be bladed in Wing Chun as long as you're understanding it's a separation of my upper half and lower half. I'm not bladed right now. Oh, I'm bladed right now, aren't I? I'm not, I'm bladed. Wait a second. Right now, I have my left guard forward. My right hand is in a Wu Sao position. My shoulders are squared up. My left leg is pointed directly at that wall over there, and my right leg is in front of it. Again, how you do it is completely understanding the separation of the upper and lower body.
And as my hand is not pushing, it's my body coming forward. The next thing I noticed with the Pak Sao is people put their wrists like this when they Pak. That's going to hurt your wrist. The position is like this. So when you practice on the Muk Jong, it's like this. This is what's strong. So when I go here, boom, see?
Now, we don't Pak Sao like that. All right, now, number one, here's a concept that's going to negate this whole video. There is no Wing Chun Pak Sao. It doesn't exist. Everything is an attack. I want to play this short clip from me when I'm teaching this a couple of years ago on this same concept. Now, if we think Pak Sao, now remember, he's teaching a class on Pak Sao. You need to know what the tool does before you're able to manipulate it. You don't go to the hardware store looking for a back scratcher and grab a hammer. You need to learn how to hold the hammer. You don't choke up so high. You don't have only 2 fingers on it. You need to learn how to use the tool before you can manipulate the tool. So I'm not ripping into his video, which is clearly on the instruction of a Pak Sao. I'm just taking this to the next level. I'm just going, okay, I see what that value is, but in Wing Chun, this is how we teach it. So listen very carefully, because I put this up years ago, and I'll put the link again for the full video in the description, but this is the description of our Pak Sao.
Needs to go forward. Tell me the difference between you punch and me punching, you punch and me Pak Saoing. It's just an open hand. If you Pak Sao, let's Pak Sao different speeds, or excuse me, I'm going to Pak Sao. You're going to vary the speed of your punch, just a straight punch coming in. I got that one. Got that one. I got that one. I got that one. Well, kind of like whatever. And the timing was off on that one, right? And that one obviously missed. Let's do 5 more, all with an attacking Pak Sao. Ready? Let me know. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what your Pak Sao should be. Did I miss the Pak Sao on everyone? Everyone hit the hand, but this is what we think Pak Sao needs to be in the movies. Go.
Now, that's why we don't Pak Sao at the hand. What he's teaching is for martial arts. It's great. If you notice, this is what I've always said. Our Pak Sao does not try, so to speak, to make forearm contact with the forearm. Of course, it can clear something, if you will, but what happens if the object slips? Now, clearly, when we've trained in Wing Chun, we train to fight or throw shots at the chest. It's just for safety's sake, right? And it's to give everybody a fair, whatever. It's your job to learn how to protect your face as time goes on when you increase your knowledge. But here's the deal. I Pak Sao always with the palm of my hand, that meat that is backed up by your radius and your ulna. This will prevent you from torquing your fingers back and jamming your wrist, number one. Number two, if you slip off, like watch me do here several times, that was a Pak Sao, but I slipped off. What does it turn into? It turns into a strike. You should never be thinking Pak Sao. You should never be in a movement, I've got something, I'm going to Pak. You should be thinking, I need to be attacking. If you think Pak Sao, if you think Bong Sao, if you think Wu Sao, if you think Jump Sao, you are by default one minimum beat behind the movement and your attacker has an advantage. So again, I'm not disagreeing with how he's teaching it. I'm disagreeing with how we apply it. We don't here, this is where it is. We want that radius and that ulna to come right down, same where you're putting the bar in the bench press. Right? A lot of you, and me too, we love to do that thumbless grip. Well, why? Because it's going to keep it right on line with that bone structure. structure. And if we slip, if we miss, no, we didn't. It turned into a strike. So our pak saos do not attack the limbs. They attack the core. If a hand goes down forward, it's meant to just destroy whatever's in the way to continue on the path. Pak sao, again, there is no pak sao. It is simply just an open hand attack. And I just want to clarify that. All right, and we're continuing.
It's here, okay? So when I go, there's the shot. But my feet have to come forward.
This is the only reason. And remember, Sifu Singh's a phenomenal martial artist. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's superior in so many skills. You may not be. You may not be. This is why I don't like to stand bladed. If somebody winds up doing the Mun Sao, Choi Sao, whatever it is, automatically in Wing Chun, we're going to take an angle, if you're fucking trained right, and you're going to square up. And that leaves this whole side that he's working on.
Come forward.
That's called a flank. It's just a fraction of a chance easier to get to somebody's flank if you offer a strong or a weak side first, to step offline, especially with a compass step, especially if you know what you're doing and you're maintaining that core structure going in. Pak sao is very easy to defeat. Pak sao is very easy to defeat. Here's an example. If you've ever seen this upcoming exchange between Sifu Ip Chun and Sean Rawcliffe, who's one of the best fucking Wing Chun guys out there, watch this pak sao. It's not a joke. Pak sao, and you could see literally what he's doing. Watch again. Here's Sean Rawcliffe is going to try to pak sao. It's an inside pak sao, and you're actually weaker. You're actually weaker. Do it yourself. Have somebody try to do it with you. If somebody pocks you to the inside, you're trying to prevent your arm from going outside, right? And it versus inside, it's easier. Elbow energy out the side. It's almost like lateral raises versus fly pecs. But watch this. You could see if you take this down and watch it, the easiest way to defeat any energy in Wing Chun is to have an energy going into your opponent. He has his fingers. It's the coolest fucking thing on the planet. And try with anybody. Hold your arm like this and have somebody push into you. And they could do it. Take your fingers, point them into them, and they can't do it, especially if you're slightly past 90 degrees. When you point your energy and you understand energy into your attacker, pak sao is inept. It does not work. Just watch. This is not any type of mysticism at all. This is simple body kinetics, structural alignment, and intent of energy. Fingers were going right into Sifu Rawcliffe. Boom. Elbow down. That's jump sao energy. Jump sao. If he's in this position, he's got a fook. And it's going in. It's going into the opponent. And here's the two lines of energy. His fingers are going right into him. And his elbow is going right into him. When you discover this shit, I'm going to tell you right now, this energy, this jump sao energy from elbow and fingers, that's that. And then you accompany with hips and structure. This is anti-grappling. I can't fucking begin to tell you how once you discover this shit, you're like, oh my God, you guys are not going to be able to take me down. It's insane. He has elbow energy going in, finger energy going in, and he can't pak him off. It is not anything mystical. It is just body mechanics, understanding energy, and how to put it into an opponent. So pak sao is extremely easy to be defeated. Well, let's continue.
You see, and that's how I come forward. So 3 pieces. Number 1, shuffle your foot. Number 2, hand comes from here, not from here. It's already here, right? In our starting position. Number 2,
I like this. A lot of people in Wing Chun,
with my feet, have to come forward.
A lot of people in that first step, they like to, they like to Indiana Jones it, where you don't feel anything. What I mean by that is, you can see the distance here. If I pak, I collapse in while keeping my energy there, right? Here's what I'm doing. And I'm trying to fool you It's a bull and a matador. I'm letting you feel, oh, there's no change in the position. And if you're skilled, you could do this without your opponent feeling anything because you're turning off the engagement between your elbow and your wrist. The problem is what are you doing when you do that? You're collapsing. I think all that structure needs to be going forward for real fighting context, especially if you're going to be getting in that distance for grappling. Do not collapse your energy. Just don't do it. It's dangerous unless you're truly skilled and you know what you're doing.
Forward. You see, and that's how I come forward. So it's 3 pieces.
And you can do it a fraction. Really, to spring forward, you need that. That's all you need to spring forward. It's there. So it's understanding the nuances, right? If a bullet comes whizzing past and it misses by a millimeter versus a centimeter, still it's a miss. It's still a miss.
Number 1, shuffle your foot. Number 2, hand comes from here, not from here. It's already here, right? In our starting position. Remember this? I want you from here. See? This is where I want it from. Remember our start position was here, right? 45s. This is where I want it from. And that this thumb, see this thumb? Touches my chin. That's when I know it's covering and it's ready to go from here and not from down here. Because if he runs that hand and my hand's down here, run it, boom. Or without even a pocket, he runs it, it's already there. This needs to be here. In case he runs it, it runs into this. If he runs it, go.
That's good. I like that. I see nothing wrong with that. I like that. It's good stuff.
I can cover. But if my hand's down here, he's hitting me all day.
Yeah, we're infamous in Wing Chun for being here. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with your guard being up. You could still apply everything in Wing Chun. You just have to have more confidence to do so.
This here, and I need this here. Okay, so now I shuffle from the back. I trap here, not here. See this part here? I'm going to leave good 5 prints here so you can see where it is. Okay.
This is the
5 prints here so you can see. Here, this here, and I need this here.
This is one of the things that I don't like. And anytime that I step, this is why it's so important to have at least a triangle squared stance. When he steps, one of the good things is it's going to be akin to a double leg takedown. His right foot will step in between his students' 2 feet. That's that's completing the triangle, right? If you've ever trained with me, you know that you want at least all at one time someone's foot to be the completion of your triangle. So in this case, these 2 feet are completing his triangle. Here's the base, and then here's the apex of the triangle. What I like instead, especially on a Pak Sao, is the back foot being on either side, the right or on the lead leg. If his lead leg is here, I'm blocking this a little bit. I want 1 foot here and 1 foot here. Right foot here, just keep that there, but that left foot needs to be over here. That puts him completely on the flank, and I can take his back. It puts me at a superior position of recovery. So that's why we don't focus on Pak Sao, and that's why we don't focus on a bladed stance, because you're very limited on where you could step. In that case, my 2 legs form the base. His leg forms the apex of the triangle. And you want to talk about leg destruction? Just bend a knee right in there, collapse him right down.
Okay, so now I shuffle from the back. I trap here, not here. See this part here? I'm going to leave good 5 prints here so you can see.
Yes, 100%. Thank you. You want to get, if you're going to do this for training purposes or applying purposes and to pin into somebody's body, all right, whatever the case is, you don't want to knock somebody out and you want to teach them a lesson, kind of say, hey, listen, back off because I could destroy you. You Pak slightly below the elbow above the wrist, because pressure on the wrist brings up the elbow. You Pak, we're going to make you eat an elbow. Pressure on the elbow brings up the wrist. And you're good, so you get pocked in the elbow. Boom! I still have a wrist. I can slink right out of that pock and punch you. You pock me on the wrist. Boom! I could pop an elbow right up and just take your teeth out.
See where it is? Okay, clearly. And I relax. It has to be from a relaxation.
That's good too, because when you do that, the position where he's pocking right now is perfect. Again. Try to dumbbell fly with 30, 40, 50 pound dumbbells. It gets heavier the harder. Your shoulders can't take that pressure. Well, now you take a guy who's, I don't know, Sifu Singh's probably about 170 pounds. And you take all of that, amplify that force into the forearm. Your lateral raise, your front raise in the shoulder can't take it. So, and especially the human body cannot take two movements at the same time. Meaning, if you push into me, I could take it. Push down, take into it. You push down and in like a Pak would for a pinning circumstance. Your body can't handle the dynamic nature of two movements coming in.
Do you feel what I'm saying? It has, so I want you to first relax and not get tense, because when I get tense, I tell him, I need to go down and relax and erupt from there. Got it?
And you guys have seen me, you know, I don't like the back fist. I don't think the back fist has a good structural integrity to it. And that's just, but JKD uses, this is fine.
Pieces. The hand, the feet shuffle, the hand goes.
Now, where have we seen that before? 3 beats, 1 movement. George Silver. I think it was 14th century or 16th century. One of you guys will correct me. True time versus false time. Time of the hand, time of the foot, time of the body. Or time of the hand, time of the body, time of the foot versus time of the foot, time of the body, time of the hand. What I mean by that is, what's the real time? What's the false time? You can't take a whip and throw the tip out and then get that sonic boom by cracking it. The sonic boom is done by the handle. You crack the handle, the energy travels down, and then you get that crack at the tip. But if you do that for fighting, which are your feet, and you lead it off, you're going to wind up telegraphing your movement. This Pak Sao from Choi Sao or Q Sao or wrist-to-wrist position, reference point, whatever your school calls it, is one of the demonstrative ways to express and explore George Silver's true time concept and theory.
Feet shuffle, the hand goes, okay? So here, boom, there's the shot. And look where I recover to. I go here. Do you see I go and I pull it back, but I recover to here. I don't do this. I can shoot and leave it open.
And that's also why we don't stand bladed, because again, you leave yourself open for that. All in all, fantastic. I'm a fan of Sifu Singh. He's always been a big supporter. He's somebody who I've experienced more respect with, and I respect him for the amount of passion he has in martial arts. And he's just a kick-ass representative of everything he does. So, you know, hey, Sifu Singh, all the best to you. I appreciate you. Keep putting this content out. If you guys are able to train with him, do so. You will learn a lot. And that's our view. That is the Wing Chun view on how people who do JKD teach Wing Chun. We keep it the way that it's supposed to be for us. I hope that makes sense. Again, these are the conversations that we want to have at the Great Martial Arts Training Hall. Make sure you go to click the link below for the Patreon link and sign up, become a member today. And we'll see you guys at the meetings. That's it. Hope you guys are doing well. Train hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.